The house was everything we wanted. Quiet neighborhood, big backyard, cheap price. The real estate agent said the last family just moved away suddenly. Left furniture, toys, even food in the fridge. We should have taken that as a warning. Because last night my daughter said someone whispered to her from inside the wall, "Why are you in our house?" And this morning we found a handprint on the inside of the drywall. It was our dream home. Old, but charming. 3 bedrooms, a finished attic, creaky wood floors that gave the place character. And the price, way below market. The agent smiled and said, "Motivated sellers. Needed to relocate fast." He didn't mention the smell. Faint. Sour. Like wet clothes that had been locked in a trunk for too long. We figured it would go away, but it didn't. And it was strongest near the walls. We found it on the first night, taped inside a kitchen cabinet door. A sticky note, written in shaky handwriting. "Don't go into the attic after midnight." No name, no explanation. I laughed it off. Probably a prank. Maybe a leftover joke from the old owners. But my wife looked worried. We didn't talk about it again. Not that night. At 12:47 a.m., we heard footsteps above us. Slow, deliberate. Boards creaking in rhythm. But no one had gone up there. I checked the attic door. Still locked. Chain untouched. I knocked. Nothing. But as I turned away, I heard a faint knockback. 3 soft taps from the other side. In the guest room closet, behind a stack of old blankets, we found a box of photographs. Dozens of them. Family shots, 2 parents, 3 kids, all smiling, all happy. Until the last few, everyone looked tired, pale, scared, and in the final photo, only the youngest daughter was smiling. The rest stared blankly at the camera, eyes wide, mouth shut, like they just heard something horrible. We were painting the living room when my roller hit a soft spot in the drywall. It cracked. I pressed in gently, and part of the wall gave way. Behind it, insulation, wires, dust, and something else. Something wrapped in fabric. I pulled it out slowly. It was a child's shoe. Old, dirty, torn at the heel. A name written inside, Emily. My wife dropped the paintbrush. That was one of the names on the photos. The next night, our daughter Abby woke up screaming. Said someone was inside her wall, whispering. Said a girl's voice told her, "You're sleeping in my bed." We checked. Nothing there. No holes, no vents. But when I pressed my ear to the wall, I heard it too. Faint, garbled, like a voice underwater. "It hurts. We're still here." I went to the county office and got the original blueprints. Back in the 1960s, the house had a different layout. More rooms. One of the bedrooms had been sealed off, converted into part of the hallway wall. No explanation why. I checked the wall with a stud finder. Hollow space where there shouldn't be any. A void, roughly 6 feet tall, and shaped like a person. Hidden behind a loose floorboard in the master bedroom, we found a journal. It belonged to the mother of the previous family. The entries started cheerful, then turned grim. The walls talk now. They say things I don't understand. We tried to leave, but every door brings us back here. They're angry because we ignored them. Now they want to be remembered. Her last entry was dated a week before the family moved out. It simply said, "We're inside now." We cut open the sealed wall. Inside, a room, perfectly preserved. A twin bed, child's drawings, stuffed animals, all covered in a thick layer of dust. And something else, scratch marks on the inside of the door. Dozens of them, like someone had tried to claw their way out. My daughter picked up a drawing. It showed 5 stick figures inside a house. 4 were crossed out in red crayon. Only the little girl was left untouched. We decided to set up a camera facing the living room wall. Motion triggered. At exactly 3:09 a.m., it recorded movement. A bulge formed in the wall, like something pressing outward. Then, fingers. 5 of them, pressing from the inside, scraping, clawing. The wall didn't break, but in the morning, when I touched the spot, it was still warm. That sour, moldy scent came back stronger than ever. No matter how much we cleaned, how many candles we lit, it clung to the walls. Our daughter said the smell meant they were close. We asked who. She said, Emily and her family, they don't sleep anymore. I followed the smell to the basement. In one corner, the wall felt soft, damp. I pressed my hand to it. Something pushed back. I hired a contractor to check the structural issues. He didn't last long. 30 minutes in, he stormed up the stairs, pale as paper. Said there were bones behind the basement wall. Not animal, not old. Fresh enough to still reek. He said he was calling the police. He never made it. His truck was still in the driveway when we woke up the next morning. But he was gone. Only his hard hat was left resting on our front step. That night, we heard knocking. Not on the door. Inside the walls. First upstairs, then the hallway, then the basement. Rhythmic, measured, like a code. I followed it. It led me to the nursery. And there, carved above the light switch, was a message. We never left. Why should you? We tried to move. Packed bags. Drove to my brother's house. But as we turned onto the freeway, the GPS glitched. No signal. Every road sign we passed said the same thing. Welcome home. And 20 minutes later, somehow, we were back in our own driveway. Still packed, engine running, but home, like we'd never left. The next day, the drywall in the hallway began to split. Thin cracks, then deeper, then holes. Behind them, eyes, dozens. All sizes, all blinking in perfect silence. Watching. My wife screamed. I covered the wall with a blanket. The next day, the blanket was gone, and written in black soot, "Don't cover us. Don't hide us. We remember." It started with voices, muffled crying. Footsteps running down the stairs at night. Then shadows. Figures standing just outside rooms. And then Emily. She walked into our daughter's bedroom, took her by the hand, and said, "It's okay. They don't want to hurt you. Just stay quiet." When we rushed in, our daughter was alone, but her eyes had changed. Colder, older, and she said, "They live here too now." We ripped open the basement wall. It was all true. Behind the insulation, behind the beams, bodies. The previous family. Mummified. Pressed into the walls like wallpaper. Eyes wide open, mouths stretched in silent screams. All 5 of them. Except the youngest girl. Emily wasn't there. She was never buried. She was left behind. Still alive? Or something else? That night, Emily appeared again, staring at us from the stairwell. She spoke for the first time, clearly. "You live here now. You take our place. That's how it works. If you leave, we come too. But we don't like the outside. It's too quiet, too forgotten." Then she stepped back into the shadows and disappeared into the wall. I tore open every inch of drywall in that house, room by room. There were spaces behind every wall, small ones, hidden ones, everywhere personal belongings. A toothbrush, a doll, a wedding ring, memories sealed behind wood and plaster, buried like graves, and carved into the beams behind our bedroom wall. You are the walls now. We're still here, still in the house. We stopped trying to leave. The furniture rearranges itself at night. Our voices echo back in other tones. Sometimes I hear my daughter singing lullabies we never taught her. And in the quietest moments, I swear the walls breathe. I think they're preparing for the next family. Because one day this house will be empty again, and someone will walk through that front door and say, "Wow, this is perfect." If you ever find your dream home with too many closets, too much silence, and too low of a price, knock on the walls, not to check for termites, but to ask if someone's still there. Because sometimes the house you move into already has a family, and they're not done living there.